I'm Hazel and I run Jammy Cow, which is my business making jams, chutneys and other preserves in Milton Keynes from fruit and veg grown in Milton Keynes. It all started probably back in '97 when I first started growing fruit and vegetables, and then in '98 my husband asked me whether I could make him some blackcurrant jam, as he particularly likes blackcurrant jam. So we'd grown some blackcurrants and I had a go at making jam for the first time, and it worked. So I took it from there really, started making jam, and then gradually with time I worked out how to get through all the sort of legal stuff that you need to do to be able to sell to the public, and I started selling my things at craft fairs under the name of Hazel's Homegrown. And then back in January 2011 I was sat around having coffee with my friends and moaning that I didn't live in Devon. I love Milton Keynes, but if I lived in Devon I could have just taken my things to the local gift shop, but we don't have that here in Milton Keynes and it seemed a real shame. But they said actually it would be really good to do in Milton Keynes because no one else is doing it. So we had a think, and one of my friends suggested the name Jammy Cow in honour of the famous concrete cows. So that's when Jammy Cow was launched. So although I've been making things for quite some time, it's really 2011 when Jammy Cow came about. Since Jammy Cow expanded, I had a friend who is one of the friends on the school run, and I asked her whether she'd be able to help me out when I have gluts of things, especially in the summer when everything comes at once. So I have her, she helps me make a few of the jams. Most of the time it's me, and obviously because it's done from home it is a family business, so my husband helps with the growing of things, and where I can I get my children involved in picking the fruit and preparing the fruit and that kind of thing. Today I'm making plum and cinnamon jam. The plums are Victoria plums which come off the tree at the end of our garden. They were picked in August and I spent quite a lot of time chopping them up into little bits and then putting them in the freezer. So this morning it was a nice easy job of taking them out of the freezer and putting them in the pan. And also in the pan are a couple of cinnamon sticks. So this has been cooking away for about 20 minutes now and the fruit is nice and soft. So the next job is to add the warm sugar. You have to warm it because it helps it to dissolve quicker, and if you don't dissolve the sugar properly it will catch on the bottom and it will burn in the jam. If you look on my Jammy Cow website, I actually have a page on there called 101 Things to Do with Jam. At the moment I'm on about 37, so there's a little bit of a way to go, but obviously when you've got a constant supply of jam like I have, it's quite nice to think of different ways of using it. So of course we do eat it on toast and crumpets and things like that, but I also use it quite a bit in baking. The classic thing there would be a Victoria sandwich cake or jam tart. The sugar's dissolved now, so I'm going to increase the temperature and get it boiling. You have to boil jam until it gets to 104 degrees. When you get there, the pectin in the fruit sets, and that's what causes jam to set. Some fruit are really easy to make into jam, like blackcurrants and gooseberries. They've got loads of pectin in and it's really easy to get them to set. Others, like strawberry, are really low in pectin and really hard to get to set. So although everyone loves strawberry jam, and I'm always asked for strawberry jam, it's probably the one I least like making because it's the hardest. Plums are sort of in the middle, so it'll take a few minutes for it to reach its set once it starts boiling properly. When you're making jam, it just needs to cool down and it's ready to eat. I also need to label that before it was ready to sell. When you make chutney, it needs to sit in the jar for 6 weeks for the vinegar to mellow and the spices to sort of improve in flavour. So in a way chutney making is a bit harder to keep things in stock because if someone says to me, oh, I really love your Indian chutney, can I have some more of that? I'm saying, well, yeah, but it's going to be 6 weeks before you can have it, even if I made it today. In the family, making jam is much more popular than making chutney, because chutney, you have to boil it for at least an hour, often more than an hour, to evaporate the vinegar off. So of course the whole kitchen fills with the smell of vinegar, so it's not popular. So I tend to try and do that when everyone else is out of the house. But even so, when the girls get back to school, they say, oh, what have you been making? It stinks. So, and the other thing about chutney is it's not a good thing to do on a cold day or a rainy day when you can't have all the doors and windows open. You really need to be doing that on a nice day with everything nicely ventilated.